Hello guys, it is me again, it's RFan34, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to the series of reviews for the Friday the 13th movies. Now we're getting on to the next film, of the second to last film of the Paramount released movies, and of course that review is going to be on this. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, which was released in 1988, 2 years after Part 6. And basically, Part 7 picks up right where Part 7 picks up right where Part 6 left off at. Basically, at the end of Part 6, Tommy Jarvis chains Jason to the bottom of the lake at the very end of Part 6. And in this one, Part 7, Jason's at the bottom of the lake once again. And basically, in the very beginning, you have this little girl, Tina, actually played by Jennifer Banco, who went on to be in Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. When I reviewed the Chainsaw Massacre film, she's the little girl in Part 3. You know, yakety yak, don't talk back. Like, that's young Tina in this movie. And in a way, though, when Jennifer Banco was a kid, like with the long blonde hair and things like that, in a way, she kind of reminded me of Heather O'Rourke from the Poltergeist movies. She kind of has like that similar vibe to her. But basically, in the beginning, her father is being abusive to her mom. She runs away, and you know, I hate you. I wish you were dead. And of course, she uses her telekinesis, telekinetic powers to, and it causes the deck that her father's on to collapse, and he gets dragged in by Jason, things like that. And then she basically wakes up and with her mom in the car, the older Tina, and she is going to her doctor to talk about her telekinetic powers. You have Lar Park Lincoln as Tina, and her doctor is Bernie himself from Weekend at Bernie's. It's like, Bernie, aren't you dead? Terry Kaiser is the guy that plays the doctor, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. And basically, and also next door, there's a bunch of these kids staying there at Camp Crystal Lake, things like that. And you have the characters. You have people like Maddie, Nick, Melissa, and also I forgot to mention too, the director of this, John Carl Buechler, not that long ago passed away, which was sad. Which I know he was, I believe he was battling cancer. Unfortunately, he lost, which is sad. But he does have a commentary on here with Kane Hodder. A really great commentary with the two of them on there. And basically, this is the start of Kane Hodder's intro into the Jason films. And Kane Hodder went on to do Jason in 3 more of them. He went on to be in Part 8, Part 9, and Part 10. So Kane Hodder definitely played Jason the most out of all the actors that portrayed Jason. And Kane Hodder, you know, is my favorite Jason. I've met Kane Hodder before, really nice guy, things like that. He's without a doubt my favorite Jason. He's got a really great brooding force to him. And on top of that, too, the look of Jason in this is really, really cool. I really like the makeup effects that the people did. I don't know who did the makeup effects in this, but yeah, I don't know who did the makeup effects, but the look of Jason is really, really cool, especially when at the very end when his mask gets ripped off by Tina using her telekinetic powers and things like that. And basically, Jason comes back from out of the lake and starts killing people one by one. Pretty much. And basically, in a way, Friday the 13th Part 7, in a way, it's Carrie versus Jason. Because you figure it's about Tina, who has telekinetic powers like Carrie does, and going up against Jason. Things like that. I think it's a pretty cool concept. Jason versus Carrie. Really cool concept. And this is also one of those films, too, where the MPA went to town on this. Which I know they actually, on the commentary, they actually got into the details about the certain scenes that were cut because of the gore and things like that. Especially you have when Terry Kaiser gets killed, you have Jason with that long thing, has like the saw thing on the very end, and you like ramp it up. I guess it's like a kind of looks like a weed whacker in a way. It's kind of like one of those kind of like tools. You have, of course, the character, and of course you can't forget the character of Maddie. Little touch-up work my ass and things like that. And she gets killed by Jason on the deck and things like that. You have the character of Robin, who was actually also in Silent Deadly Night Part 2 as Eric Freeman's girlfriend in that one. It's garbage day. She was the girlfriend in that. Her death scene, of course, is really memorable. And, of course, you have Melissa, who's kind of like the snooty girl, who's unfortunately no longer with us anymore either. You have Nick, who is like the nice guy of the group, who feels sorry for Tina and things like that, and sides with her and things like that. But this is another one that has really great deaths, and I know the MPAA went to town on this movie, sadly, which I wish there was an uncut version of this somewhere, but we're not going to be seeing that. But Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, really great installment. I think this is an underrated one of the franchise. Kane Hodder as Jason is great. I like Lar Park Lincoln as Tina. And actually, surprisingly enough, the musical score, who did the music, this time it's Fred Mullen. He did both Part 7 and Part 8. This is the same guy that composed the music for Survive the Night, which is the film that I reviewed on the channel. I completely forgot that he did the musical score for these two films. I think Survive the Night is my favorite score that he did. But Fred Mullen, I think that does a solid job. I mean, Harry Manfredini not coming back. Basically, Fred Mullen took over, and I think he did a decent job with the music. Granted, I like Harry Manfredini's score better, but I think Fred Mullen does a decent job with the music. Really great gore. It's really cool cast, like seeing people like Terry Kaiser and things like that in the movie. Of course, Kane Hodder's Jason is great. I like the whole concept of Carrie versus Jason. I think that's a cool concept in my opinion. And overall, I mean, it's just a really nice installment of the franchise. Really do enjoy The New Blood. So that is pretty much it for my review for The New Blood, and stay tuned for the next review, which will be on Jason Takes Manhattan. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys take care.